Hey, what's going on, guys? We are back with the 10th installment of my Pokemon Armor video series. Can you believe it? I really can't. When I first started doing these, I had no idea that you guys would enjoy them so much, or that so many of you would commission armor sets of your own. In the past 8 months or so, I've done over 35 of these characters, and with each one, I learned something that helps me improve them for the next design. I'm so glad you all enjoy these videos as much as I enjoy making them, because it's really become a part of my identity as an artist. Before we begin, I'll throw in the Q&As that I include in every one of these videos. If you're a regular on this channel, I'm sure you've already skipped past this part. I work in a program called Procreate. It's an app for the iPad. It's super intuitive and very affordable. I highly recommend it to anyone just breaking into digital artwork. The models you see me drawing over are posed by me in an app called ArtPose. There's a male and female edition, and I recommend both for anyone who doesn't have 24/7 access to nude human models. I would also like to advise any artist not completely familiar with human anatomy to not trace over the models like I do in these videos. Without an internalized understanding about how the human body works, tracing characters will end up looking awkward and uninformed. Learn human anatomy from real humans, not from apps like ArtPose. They're good models, but not great for teaching anatomy. These pieces were all commissioned by individuals who contacted me through my Instagram. I'll link my page here. I take on about 5 to 7 commissions every 2 weeks or so, and it's often first come, first serve. If you'd like to commission a set for yourself, be sure to follow me on Instagram for updates on my availability and prices. And of course, leave all your other questions down below in the comments, and I'll try to get to them all. Alright, let's go, guys. 3 new Pokemon armor sets in the 10th installment of this video series. Enjoy. Starting off the list, we're going to take a look at a design that a lot of people have been requesting since I've started this series, even though I've actually already done one based off of this Pokemon. Over a year ago, when I first started doing these armor sets, I picked Mega Rayquaza as one of the Pokemon I wanted to base a design off of, and a lot of people really liked it. Fast forward several months, and I got the opportunity to revisit that concept when a client commissioned another piece based off of the same Pokemon. There were a lot of elements of my original design that I wanted to keep, parts of Mega Rayquaza that I felt were not only integral to the Pokemon's design, but would just look cool in an anthropomorphic reinterpretation of the Pokemon. The big thing I changed with the design was the helmet, as the client asked the design would have a sense of royalty and dominance to it. I used the triangular shape of Rayquaza's mandibles, for a lack of a better word, to create something like a crown, which could be adorned with the glowing, wispy tendrils that are such an iconic part of its design. While initially the pose was supposed to imply royalty, the end result looked something like an amped-up super luchador, or some sort of Sentai protagonist. Or actually villain, for that matter. And it makes sense, because Rayquaza gives off that kind of neutral, impartial power vibe. It'll blow up the world to save the world, you know, that kind of thing. Now this next one I'm really excited to talk about because I think it might be my favorite that I've done so far. I was really excited when this client asked me to do a Vespiquen design for their girlfriend because Vespiquen is one of my all-time favorite Pokemon. I kept bees with my grandma growing up, and I always hated that for a while, Beedrill was the only bee Pokemon. Not that I have a problem with Beedrill, but I just felt like there should be a design that reflected the side of bees that people tend to overlook. Their ingenuity, the social complexity, the intelligence, and this kind of royal hierarchy that functions like clockwork to produce a delectable substance that not even humans can correctly reproduce. Vespiquen embodies that regal, stoic power, not to conquer or harm, but to create and delegate. She's not a ruthless dictator that abuses her power for personal gain. She's a strong leader that protects her kingdom with the strength of her people as her weapon. Okay, maybe this is all a bit hyperbolic, but it's why I love Vespiquen, and it's the vibe that I wanted her anthropomorphized character to give off. At first I thought I'd pose her all still and unflinching like in her official artwork, but because I had just given Rayquaza that energy, I decided to make her look a little bit more energetic, swinging a jewel-encrusted mace that's as dangerous as it is glamorous. Her whole look would be very extravagant to reflect her queenhood, and though she was mostly heavily armored, I also included some light, airy fabrics that could mimic the shape of her wings and break up some of the black and gold. Now, my favorite part of this design has got to be the weapon. The little Combi faces and the gems, they just make me so happy. And as for the last design of this video, we're going to take a look at my Ampharos/Mega Ampharos armor set. Yeah, I know that's a little confusing, but basically the client asked that the design have some influences from the Mega, but mostly be based off of the regular form. Trouble is, Mega Ampharos is pretty much just Ampharos but with hair, so at the end of it all, it looked more like a Mega Ampharos design. Anyway, my first challenge with this one is going to be that it could easily look too similar to the Vespiquen armor. Both Pokemon have a kind of regal presence, and their color schemes consist of black, yellow, red, and white, and I didn't want to create something that was just a tweaked version of my previous set. Because of this, I looked at a bunch of different points of reference to create something that felt altogether different from Vespiquen, even with the same colors. I used images of Byzantine warrior armor, Hindu gods, and Buddhist sculptures, as well as the Japanese thunder god Raijin, and a set of armor from Monster Hunter World. Whereas the Vespiquen had more of a Western nobility thing going on, I wanted this one to have more influences rooted in Asia, and transcend royalty to a point of divinity. Somewhere between a priestess and a goddess, but nothing that looked dangerous or violent. Ampharos gives off a very subdued, gentle presence, so it didn't make sense to me to have this character feel like a vengeful god. I also used more red in this design than I did in Vespiquen, just to differentiate the two a little bit further. Alright guys, that is it for today's set. Get ready because more are on the way, but keep an eye out for our Malphite redesign coming up next. Which piece in this video was your favorite? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps a lot, but I'm sure you guys already know that. Peace out. I'll see you all in the next video.